In this video, I explain you the big payday of HEX, where giant profit is expected to be distributed amongst HEX stakers at the end of the launch period. From a Richard Hart interview, I cut out the part about Bitcoin claims and big payday. After watching, you know the details about HEX Big Payday and can make your own educated financial decisions. Hello, welcome to Library, the platform of free speech where you even earn crypto while watching. I am your host CryptoFace. HEX Big Payday or BPD, what is it? The HEX Big Payday, in short, BPD, happens on day 353 after the HEX contract launched in December 2019. This is the last day of the 50-week launch phase. To see my countdown timer, go to hexstaking.com. Link in the description. The Adoption Amplifier or Ethereum Transfer Lobby ends on that day as well, and big payday staking bonuses are calculated. Giant profit is expected to be shared amongst HEX stakers. Stakers get rewarded according the amount of shares they hold. All coins which aren't claimed, are paid to stakers. To qualify for the big payday bonus, your staked HEX coins can't end before that important day to qualify for this one-time bonus. Your share of the big payday is variable and can only be calculated on that day. Your bonus goes up as other people close their stakes. It goes down, as other stakers open new stakes after the day you staked your HEX token. Big payday bonus shares are complex to calculate. It depends how many free Bitcoin is claimed until BPD, the amount of early unstaked penalties and the length of your staking period. It can be up to 5 times of your stake. If you type in your expected staking length at the Adoption Amplifier website, you see an estimate, based on available data until that day. Vary the stake length and it changes accordingly. The unclaimed amount of Bitcoin is calculated daily. The equivalent HEX of the unclaimed Bitcoin is rewarded to HEX stakers. If more people free claim with their Bitcoin, the daily unclaimed pool is reduced as a consequence. At the time of recording, only 2.32% of all Bitcoin have claimed their free HEX. By the way, use my referral link in the description below, to get an extra 10% bonus for your free Bitcoin claim or Ethereum transfer into the Adoption Amplifier. Your big payday bonus is part of your staking benefits. It will be automatically paid out at the end of your staking period, together with the principal and earned interest. You don't have to do anything special. Don't unstake early, you would face heavy penalties should you press the red end stake button. It is red for a good reason. Now comes the part of an interview where Richard Hart talks about Bitcoin claims and big payday.
Handed out to people. Yeah, you've got unclaimed coins. They get handed out to people at the end of the year, plus adoption bonuses. So 50% of people claim their BTC, then it multiplies the stuff by 1.5. If 50% of the addresses possible claim their BTC, it ups it by 1.5. So basically, whatever the number of unclaimed coins is, and it's likely to be very high, because I think only about 9 million Bitcoin could actually claim, because of the silly whale penalties and the Gox Me Not and the multi-sig can't claim. All that stuff adds up to about only 9 million coins could actually possibly claim. And then because we're
You're talking about 9 million HEX?
Well, 9 million BTC times 10,000 HEX per BTC. Okay. So I think it's 90 billion. I think it's 90 billion. So,
you said 9,000 BTC.
There's 9 million BTC that could possibly claim, but now it's far less because 10% of the claim phase is already over.
We're already. You said 10,000 HEX per.
So yeah, it's 10,000 HEX per BTC.
So that would be 9 million.
Well, 9 million times 1,000 would be 9 billion, and it's 10,000, yes. So it's 90 billion. So there's 90 billion HEX. Sure, there's 90 billion HEX that are going to be distributed no matter what, because they can't even attempt to claim them. And then there's people that could attempt but really can't. So for instance, the pay to script hash addresses, we don't know what the reparation type is. So if they end up being a SegWit reparation type, then they can claim. But if there's some other weird type of reparation type that's not SegWit, then they can't claim. And nobody in the world knows, except for the person holding the private keys, what the claim script actually is until it gets used. And so there's going to be a lot of coins, a lot. redistributed at the end at the big payday, times adoption bonuses, which are critical mass and virality, and they get distributed by shares. And if you get in earlier, you get more shares per stake tax. If you get in later, you get less shares per stake tax. And that's it. So that's kind of the big payoff in HEX. That's going to be the largest single day of input probably in the history of the currency. So that on that day, on day 353, which now I guess is only what? Let me take a look. Let's see how far away that is. So today we're on day 38 of 351 days, which leaves us like 317 days, I guess, something like that. I don't know. What's 351 minus 38? 313. So there's 313 days left, and then a day or two after that, the big payday hits and gets credited to all the stakers, and those that are staked longer. So people have this misunderstanding that like, okay, everyone's going to dump on that day. Well, maybe not. I can tell you who can't, or who's very unlikely to because of early unstake penalties being very, very harsh. The people that claimed the day before the last day, they're auto-staked for 350 days. So they can't dump, literally. They can't even emergency end stake. If you free claim, you can't emergency end stake until 350 days has passed. So if the guy that claims like the day before the last day, he's in for 350 days. He can't dump. He could dump 10% because it's 90% auto-staked. The AA guys can dump whenever they want, but they're telling you when they're likely to dump because they're staking for so much. I think like 85 to 90% of the currency is staked. And you could look at what dates those are staked into the future and tell when people could dump without being annihilated by penalties. Yeah, so everyone for some reason, they don't understand that if you have a year of claim phase and you're worried about people dumping those coins, then you have a year of dump phase because it's the same shape, it's the same size. Year of claims, year of dump, and that's assuming they will, you know. Not, people choose to stake longer than the minimum. You know, a lot of, since longer pays better, you see the average stake length was 300 and something, and the median was 1,000, or vice versa. It was like 500 and 1,000. So, you know, people just miss. The point I want to make is that everyone looks at that big payday as, you know, the time when everyone's going to dump, and you're like, well, maybe a lot of people will, maybe not, but it's not because of the reasons you think. If there's a year of claim, there's a year of dump. And so from that.
Today is May 5th and 198 days are left. Please follow my channel on Library, support this video or even tip. This is much appreciated, thank you. That's it for today, thank you for watching and happy staking. Do you feel generous today? Remember, you will get 10% more HEX. Should you wish to click my referral link below, before you claim HEX with Bitcoins or transform Ethereum into HEX.